until it doesn't. Hello, welcome back to Rock of Cair, Bryn. We're going to pretend like the original intro didn't happen, and we're going to start again. So, last time we tried to rescue, well, by we, I mean you all, tried to rescue a prince. There goes Rob. And they also had their tracker friend helping them, and at the end, they have some suspicions about him and just who he is. And then you guys got on your horses, got your local friendly neighborhood gentleman to help you out. Or gentleman, your friendly neighborhood extra horse, I guess I should say. And you guys rode off south. So this would have been, I think, somewhere in the late morning. It is spring, just FYI. You were near the mountains, so the weather is sort of cool in the mornings and kind of chilly to frigid sometimes. And then in the afternoon, it starts to warm up, so it's like that awkward weather where you're taking off your coat in the afternoon and then putting on 3 layers at night. But otherwise, the weather's generally stable. So as you guys ride south, I just realized we're in the wrong one. There we go. You will be traveling down along basically foothills and things. Easiest travel, most direct route. And is there anything anybody wants to do while you're traveling before you get to your first rest stop effectively? Or conversely, is there anything you want to look for, discuss, whatever?
I don't have anything.
Okay.
It's good.
All right. Can you all right. Everybody roll me a perception check, please. It's on 11. Oh, that's a natural 20 for 24 from Anthony.
Well, I got double crit.
Ooh, and it's a crit from him as well. Wow, nice.
Let me have it, could you, Dimitri?
Nope.
All right.
Is there anything to eat around here?
Oh, jeez. All right. So with that, as you guys are traveling south, you'll see off in the distance the weather patterns are a little like there's cloud cover. It looks like it's getting a bit windy as you're moving, and you sense that the weather could shift. Are you going to continue down this path? Are you going to try and get away from it? Are you going to detour at all? What do you want to do? It's like that kind of section where you see sort of like darker clouds kind of on the edge of what looks to be rain. If you're looking, like you start off with sort of clear white clouds, and then they become sort of darker and darker, and then gray, and then black, and then you sort of see that almost blue-black look that you get from rain clouds when they're really hammering it down.
Mm.
Do we all see it?
Mm-hmm.
Or
Yep.
just
Yeah, I mean, with 2 nat 20s, I'm just going to say y'all saw it regardless of what everybody rolled. It was more of a collective roll.
Does it look like it's closer? Like, are we gonna make it to? Is it Hufferfluss that we're going back to?
And no, you guys are heading south, so you're heading towards Veilguard. You're about a 5-day journey away at the moment.
Yeah.
Oh,
We're bringing the prince home.
Yep.
I thought we had to go back through, but yeah, if we're going south, I'll. And we're not. Yeah, I'll. How far are we? We're 5 days away.
Yep.
Sorry.
Yeah, Hufferfluss is like about a. It was more east, or more west. Sorry. So, the more direct route was straight south. So that was kind of where you guys decided to go.
I'll say we should either try to find a way around that or make shelter. Not going to be fun.
I agree. Maybe we should see if we can make a camp before he gets here, or find a cave, maybe.
So Pree wants to continue. You want to stop, or you want to do Dimitri?
I would prefer not to ride through it, but stopping may not be an option. I'm actually going to look at the prince. Your Highness, do you have a preference? Are we in a hurry? Do you care about riding through the heavy storm?
I think the worst of what we've had to deal with is gone as far as danger goes. I would rather not ride through something if there's like hail or things like that. I mean, a bit of rain I don't see as an issue, but that looks a lot more than it could be, and you never know, right? I mean, this isn't tornado country, but weirder things have happened. But it's up to you all. I will leave it to your judgment.
If we're not in a hurry, I don't see a reason to risk it. So yeah,
Okay.
that's my vote.
All right. Everybody else?
I mean, agreed. I don't think we should just plow right through. Either go around or make camp or find some kind of shelter.
Okay. All right. So you guys, depending, of course, we don't know what
Pree said that she wanted to just go through, right?
she did. Yeah. So, but that basically means that it's 2-1 at the moment.
Wait, I thought it was 3-1.
I guess if you include the prince, but he did say it was up to you guys to decide.
You were gonna make me be the.
I am gonna make you decide.
Well, then I have jokes on you. Yeah, I guess we're gonna make a stop for it.
All right.
I look at Priya when I say this, 'cause I feel like she would be really mad that we're doing this because of a fucking coin flip.
I mean, you know, it happens.
I'll
All right.
start to like look for a cave or any kind of outcroppings or something that we could maybe make a.
Yeah, we didn't bring a map with us, right? We just basically relied on the tracker.
Well, him and Pree. Pree's pretty good. She knows the area really well. She's done a lot of traveling. So she has a lot of understanding as to kind of the surrounding areas, and you guys basically know that the Veilguard's basically on the edge of the mountain range, and it's at the very southern tip of the Dragon's Teeth. You can go out sort of west, but as you do, you go out into plains where there's no real protection. So at least in this area, you have trees and possibilities of harder cover. So that's I would suggest is probably a good reason to kind of follow this line down, but it does mean that the weather can be absolutely horrendous at times.
Okay, I guess we are gonna make camp then.
Okay. So I'm going to say this takes you about, well, yeah, I'm going to say it's probably just after lunch at this point. So if you guys settle in to kind of wait the weather out, you're probably going to, you could wait for a couple hours. You could wait for a while. It's up to you. Maybe wait to see kind of where it's at. That would be the prince's suggestion, is just kind of see, because if the wind's blowing hard enough, that whole system could be through within a few hours rather than being a full day wait.
So,
Does the weather seem, is it too cold or anything? Is there hail?
Nope. You don't
Just rain.
see hail from this point just because you're too far away from the worst of it. You're kind of at the very edge of the beginning of the system. So, I mean, you'd have to go further in to know whether it's that bad. At the moment, it just looks like really dark clouds, and you can kind of see what would look like rain at least. It might even be snow if you get closer. I mean, you have to. The weather right now is kind of right around freezing. Like it's a bit above, a bit below, depending on the time of day. So as it's around noon, 1 o'clock, somewhere in there, it's probably more like above. But
And that's unusual because it's springtime.
well, that's kind of like in the spring and the fall. That's kind of what
Okay, I see what you're
like a
saying. Like
lot.
the
It's
beginning
a
part.
seasonal thing with the mountains, right?
Okay.
Obviously, the farther south you get, or the further away from the mountains you get, the less volatile the weather is. But especially like rocky style mountains, they're going to be, because of the height of the mountains, the clouds are going to be a lot more dramatic. Things are going to be, weather systems just flip like clockwork, like crazy. Like I've been in situations where we've gone from 30, like really, really hot weather to snowfall in the same day.
Oh yeah.
So it's really unpredictable at times, and that's kind of, especially in the springtime, especially because the wind seems to whip everything up a little bit more, and it seems to get a little bit more crazy, and you've got, runoff from various snow and da 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 da. So it's a bunch of different factors that are all sort of leading to these weather patterns, which are quite volatile. So unlike our world where the wind generally blows from west to east, it's blowing east to west today, which is the other problem.
Yeah, I'll just watch the storm for a little while.
Okay. All right. So roll me a perception check there, Mr. Shin. I'm trying to think of what your D&D name is.
Storm's beautiful.
Yeah, you get no sense of kind of what the ending of it is. You can't really tell what the weather looks like beyond just it looks like it might be raining, and you can kind of see like a rainbow in the clouds, but that's about it.
Yep, I'm just staring off into it, enjoying it.
So are you guys setting up like an actual like tent and stuff, or are you just taking a short rest?
Oh, we were just taking a little rest to see
where it goes.
Changes.
Maybe
Yeah,
stop and have lunch.
that
Yeah.
was my understanding. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just gonna start petting my horse.
Fair enough. All right, so you guys sit down and take a bit of a rest as you are doing that and waiting for kind of to see where the weather's going to go, where the wind's going to blow, so to speak. You note that, like I said, you've sensed some hail and things of that nature, and when you are sitting there, I would like Bart to roll me a perception check, please. Okay. Okay. Cool. Good to know. What
Good thing
is
on my horse.
Mm-hmm. The horse is just cool. Well, I assume you guys got off the horses and kind of settled in for a bit.
Nope, I'm just focusing on my horse.
Oh, you're just looking at your horse. Okay.
I'm just petting the horse. Cause we just barely started out on the journey, right? So it's not like we were traveling along, so I'm not really tired or hungry. So I'm just gonna
That's fair.
stand here.
Okay. All right. That's cool. All good. All right. So as you do that and you kind of rest a bit, you will eventually notice that it seems like the weather is shifting, and you're kind of noticing that the edge of it appears to be just coming through the mountains, wherein the clouds are lightening, and you can see that it's clearing up just beyond that. You can't see much more than that at this point, but you do know it's definitely flowing through at this juncture. So it's up to you whether you want to continue to ride. It's been about an hour at this point. And it does show that the wind is definitely blowing away.
So the storm is letting up, is what you mean?
Yeah.
Or-
It's just
okay.
slowly going away, like it's coming through. So you haven't really gone into it, right? You're at the top of
Yeah.
it, effectively, and it's just blowing past you at this point. And you can kind of see that it's lessening. It's kind of moving off into the prairie areas, into the grasslands to the west of you.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I'm down to keep going. Unless you guys want to rest more, and I'll look around.
Looks like it's passing. That's what we waited
Faster
for.
we get back, faster we get paid more.
Yeah.
I get on my horse.
All right.
Same.
Okay, cool. All right, so you guys hop up on your horse and you start to move out. As you do, Anthony, you're going to look down, Bart, and you're going to notice that some of your armor has changed consistency. Not all of it yet, but certainly the bottom, like, is it chainmail normally?
Yeah.
Okay, so the bottom rung, basically in a border all along the bottom, it's changed to kind of a coin effect. And you see little poop emojis and other things on said coins running the bottom of your armor.
I immediately check to see if my actual coin is where it's at.
It is still where it's at.
I take it out and inspect it, make sure nothing's changed.
Okay, roll an investigation check.
Shit.
You're going to be using them skills tonight.
Not well, apparently.
Apparently. All right. Well, I mean, to you, it looks perfectly fine. Nothing's changed. It seems like the exact same coin you've had, with the exception of, you know, the appearance of it occasionally.
I'm just gonna look at Dimitri for a second, since he's the only one that's ever done anything similar like this. And I'm gonna wait until he makes eye contact. I'm like, "Is this you?"
So when he's kind of just glancing around at different things, and then when you give him that look, he says, "What?"
I point to wherever my chainmail has started changing into coins instead of chainmail.
I'll look, and he squints. That's not me, bud.
I mean, none of you have noticed this till right now.
I'm gonna start looking around for anything out of place around me, I guess.
It all seems the same, just this little change. Or not so little, depending on your point of view.
Bart's gonna close his eyes for a second, he finally realized who this is, and he's realizing that he can't do anything about it. He's just I'm gonna turn to the prince. How fucking far away from how much do we have left to go?
Well, I mean, with the exception of this little stopover, probably another 4.5 days.
I am going to inspect every article of every inch of my clothing and kind of try to memorize it and see if anything else changes.
Okay, do you have a blanket?
In my sleeping roll, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, when you pull...
I haven't taken it out yet.
Okay. Good to know. Are you inspecting everything, including bedrolls and food items?
Since the only thing that's changed so far is what I'm wearing, I'm only inspecting what I'm wearing and my spear or my pike.
All right. So on the metal of your spear, the tip of it, you'll see what looks to be an etched coin. And when you hold it, it feels like you've probably been holding it for a while, off and on. It feels like it's a bit more real, if I could describe it like that. As if you could walk away from it and yet still have it. Like it almost leaves like an impression in your hands when you put it down, and you still feel that sense of this pike even as you're walking away.
I'm actually gonna do that because I'm like, I have a sword technically, so if we're riding the horse, though, I'm just gonna like let go of my pike and just continue to go.
Okay. All right. Go ahead.
I do so, and I kind of grab for my sword instead.
Okay, as you grab for your sword, you will feel your pike hanging in its usual spot when you're stowing it.
I'm gonna look around. Has anyone ever interacted with a divine being before?
You're screwed.
What being?
I can't tell you the name. I didn't care enough about it at the time.
Oh,
Doesn't
messed up.
matter. You're screwed.
I take my pike. I look at it and I toss it as far as I can.
Okay.
That won't work.
Okay, you toss it off. It goes off into the underbrush. It's gone.
I hop off my horse and I run the opposite direction.
Whoa, he's gone.
Okay, you run the
assuming you're
opposite
right-
direction. You're sure you've gotten away from it now.
Cool.
Do you go back to your horse?
Nope.
Okay.
That's the end part. Sorry, guys.
Bart just runs away forever.
I literally plop down until something happens.
Do we
Okay.
catch up to him? I grab his horse's reins, like, ah.
No,
Try to
no,
guide
I
him.
got off the horse and I ran. Yeah, okay, yeah. I'll yell back. I'm like, just go on without me.
We can't.
You
Pree just shakes her head in bemusement and then continues on with the prince. She's
Okay.
like, come on, let's go. We're
okay,
not pausing for this crap.
I wouldn't if I were you, so that's fine. Keep going.
so Shin, are you actually going over to him?
Yeah, I'll
Okay.
like slow down once I get over there with this horse.
All right. As you get over to him, because Bart seems frazzled, he hasn't noticed that the pike's back on his back again.
Do I see it?
Yeah.
Hey, man, I think that thing's magic.
What thing?
Nod to his back.
Like, since he nodded, I think I can like feel it on my back now. I'm just like,
Mm-hmm. Oh, by the way, the next rung up of chain links are now coins as well.
Did we see? So as I'm looking at him, did I see that change?
Nope. You come
Okay.
over and it's already happened.
Okay.
I'm gonna like look at my coin, and you can see the frustration because like he's realizing that there's no amount of flips will fix this problem. So he just like he's literally like like the computer crashed. He's just like,
Hey, man, look. If you stay here, you're gonna have to deal with this anyway. Why not get paid to do it?
we're getting paid.
Oh, she is. You could get something.
I will flip the coin.
All right.
Evens, I will follow Shin. Odds. This is the end of the story for part, I guess.
Wow, look at that.
All right, I see like you'll notice like after he flips and sees the result, he becomes a little bit calmer because like this is what he's used to. So he's like, all right, fine. He puts the coin back in his pocket, and he just like stands up and he'll get back on the horse.
As you get on the horse, you will hear a little giggle.
Fuck off.
And weirdly, it sounds
Hey, man,
both
I was
male
just-
and female.
Not you.
Androgynous.
And well, no, more like there's two different gendered voices going off at the same time, both giggling the same way.
I take I go to reach for my pike, but remembering like what's been going on, like for the first time, this is like the only time I will like I go for my sword instead. I kind of just like slash around.
Man, Hey, watch that.
Hey,
I
come
mean,
on.
nobody else has heard this, by the way. It's just you who've heard that laugh, by the
That's
way.
fine. He doesn't care about you guys think. I'm just like,
Look, if you didn't want to come, hey man.
Not you. You don't sound like a girl, or
Oh,
but you do sound like a guy. But if I don't hear anymore, I'm gonna just sheath my
Nope.
sword, and I'm just gonna like Shin. Let's just go. I don't know. Just go.
all right. Don't try to kill me anymore, please.
I'm like squeezing onto my coin as we follow along.
Okay. You're following Shin at this point?
Side by
Yeah.
side, following the group.
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys fall back in with the group,
Yeah.
catch up to him quickly enough. Okay, cool.
When they catch up, Pree's just gonna look at him and go, "So,
I don't want to talk about it.
which god did you mess with?"
I don't want to talk about it.
You will
Right.
notice, Pree, that one of the chain links is slowly starting to convert into a coin, but it's like
She'll kind of smirk. Can I
bending
roll for
around
religion
and
to
then slowly
figure it out?
being flattened out. Yep.
Pfft,
All right.
12.
So you have no idea why. You're just seeing that. Okay, cool.
Okay, she was just trying to figure out which god it was. That's all.
Oh, right. So it's a religion check, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay. You're not really sure.
Hey, you, and I point to the prince. Anyone at wherever we're going know anything about religion and gods?
The prince looks over at you, puts his hand in front of his mouth, kind of looking like he's thinking, but you'd also kind of get the sense, if you have really high perception, that he might be laughing. And he says, well, there are religious groups in the city. We have a temple to all of them, so
Is there one dedicated to like exorcism or something?
I'm sure every god has clerics that can do exorcisms.
When he says that, I look around like, you hear that?
Pree just sidebars. He asks the paladin.
I mean,
I don't know that you're a paladin.
I
You've
know.
never said
Hey,
anything.
religion.
Well, she just did.
Oh,
Sidebar.
okay. Are you a paladin? Do you know how to exorcise gods?
You don't exercise
You are
gods.
so
They do squats.
rude.
Exercise demons.
that's true.
Well, does that mean you can't exercise a god?
Well, you can, but it's quite vigorous and kind of tires you out. And then she'll smirk.
I'm gonna look into my pouch for a moment. Let me see how much gold. I have 139 gold. What would that get me, paladin?
A really fun night, but still screwed. In 2 fun ways, and 1 not so much.
I take out my coin. I'm like,
Shin starts counting on his fingers.
you did this. You did this. This is your fault, coin. You've never done this before. Like I'm gonna just like you see like he realizes that he just like got mad at his coin, and you know how like when you get angry at your pet and you're like, no, I didn't mean that.
I didn't mean that. I'm sorry.
So, yeah, he doesn't say it, but he just like polishes it a little bit and puts it back into his pocket.
It's
It's
kind of
like let's just keep going. I don't
it's a bit like I can't stay mad at you.
pretty much, yeah. I was like, the sooner we finish this, hopefully something else happens. Just move on.
Priya's just gonna sit there and giggle to herself for the rest of the day.
You know, I bet the bringer of death could solve your problem.
I mean,
Yeah,
possibly.
wait, do you know who she is?
Yeah,
She take 139 gold.
she would.
Where can I meet this lady?
It's pretty simple. I could show you the way.
Alright, go ahead. I'm
Yeah.
asking in earnest. Like he doesn't realize what you're talking about, so he's like, "All right, what do we do?"
Prince is
Well-
just shaking his head. He means permanent resolution of your lifespan.
Like there's blinking. Like, okay, what do we do?
I would have to use my blade to open up your neck
All right.
and let your life milk pour out.
White
this will
milk.
solve my problem.
Okay.
This will get rid of whatever's bothering me.
It'll get rid of everything.
All right, do it.
I would never. Not to you, Bart.
I look over at Pree. You kill things for money, right?
You want to die, Bart?
We should finish this job first, and then I'll take care of your problem if you like.
Oh. Assisted suicide.
Because, then I'll get your share.
I don't think I'm getting paid, but okay.
And
No. She'll draw her sword. Okay.
wait. And maybe there's another way. Who knows?
And she'll put her sword back.
Let's just keep going. This is. She can kill me later. It's fine.
Where there's a will, there's a way.
I will remember that.
Uh-oh. I think you're talking to me, and I smile.
I'll probably kill you later. All right, so you that
Good night. Good work. I'll probably kill you tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking.
When she says that, I point to my pouch. This is where I keep my gold after you do, so.
Give a thumbs up. Noted.
All right, so you guys are traveling. You make decent headway. It gets windy, but you're in the trees. You're kind of protected. It's not too bad. The weather, however, you will notice that there was hail in that storm because you can still see the remnants of it in pockets around the base of trees, in some of the grass that's around. Some of it looks like it might even been big enough to cause damage, but not necessarily big enough to cause like broken bones or something, but it might have been a very unhappy ride. Otherwise, it's pretty good. A little damp, a little mucky, but otherwise relatively safe journey for the most part. And about 8 o'clock in the evening, with it dark, the prince says we should probably look for a camping spot, unless you have any objections. I'm not really fond of running into things at night without any vision.
Is that how you were kidnapped?
No, that was more running into a major military encampment kind of situation, but...
Okay. Do we see like a cave or outcropping or someplace where we could make camp?
Well, roll either a survival check or a nature check.
Can I assist him?
Sure.
Well,
Well, I
that
mean,
didn't matter.
Nope, doesn't really matter. Okay. You don't really see anything around that looks like it would be a good enough sort of place that you could pitch under that would protect you. Definitely don't see any caves, but you do see like a few trees that have been, for whatever reason, have been logged out, and there's tree stumps and stuff that you could put a tent around, maybe protect yourself that way, or maybe to hide under some tree branches kind of close to the ground. But other than that, yeah, there's no real protection other than that.
I'm gonna point there. I'm like, does that work for everyone, or should we keep looking?
Looks fine to me.
Good. I get off my horse. I don't even like unpack. I just get off my horse, and I lay down, not with a blanket or anything. I just literally just lay down.
Just flops in the mud. All right. Most of his armor now has coins on it, by the way. I'm sure
Pretty sure I noticed already. I'm adamantly not looking at my armor.
Pree will stop, shake her head, drag the prince from his horse, plonk him under a tree. Day.
he nods.
Proceed
like,
to set up camp.
Okay, sure. And you got a fire going for a bit at least to cook some food. And generally get tents and things set up, I'm assuming. At least to protect for sleeping, except for Mr. I don't want anything to do with this.
I am laying down and just trying very hard to go to sleep.
I'll start to like brush down the horses and unsaddle them and stuff, and let them tie them to where they're close, but they can graze.
Okay. Cool.
You hobble horses. You don't tie them up.
I tied them.
Yeah, and then
I
you
tied
get
their
screwed.
legs
You
together.
hobble them.
I tied their legs together.
That's called hobbling, dude. Like Pree's like, why are you tying the horses up? You don't. If we have to leave fast, you hobble horses.
The prince is like, can I go back to the orcs?
I take a hammer.
They knew what they were doing.
I take a hammer to the horse's knees because I don't understand what hobbling means.
Whoa. If this was a human, I would let you do it. This is your animals.
I use my pike to cut them open and use it as a
Oh, God.
bag.
We're not gonna Luke this. No.
Uh-huh.
I know their insides are lukewarm, but come on.
Oh.
I got a headache.
Well, they're hobbling the horses. Pree is gonna scout the area to make sure there's nothing about.
Okay. Roll either survival or an invest. Well, yeah, survival I think makes the most sense at this point.
All right. As soon as I find it, there it is. Boop. Okay, well, it's going to be one of those nights.
It is going to be one of those nights. You're very consistent, at least.
Yep.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, it seems clear. You don't see any tracks around. There's no sort of sign of anybody else around.
I run into a couple of trees,
Yeah,
trip
yeah.
on some roads.
I mean, it wasn't that bad. It was more just kind of like you could tell if there had been something obvious, but you don't see anything, so it's not obvious if there is. So,
Yay.
as you get closer to bedding down, who's keeping watch for the first shift?
I'm up.
Okay. You gonna keep watch all night, or just for the first?
I can.
I mean, it's up to the rest of you.
We should take shifts.
Bart's gonna assume that someone will wake him, so he's just sleeping.
I'll take the first shift. Who wants to be woke up?
I'll take second.
Okay. Who takes third? I assume it's Dimitri.
Sure.
Okay. All right. So with that, as you all are bedding down, okay. So the first part of the evening seems quiet. You can hear noises of like animals passing by and things like that, but nothing dangerous sounding.
I quietly mimic some of the animals.
Fair enough. The predators that you might hear, you don't really hear around you other than really in the distance, like you might hear a wolf howl.
All right, I won't make the predator noises. I will make the little small ones.
Okay. But that, I mean, it was way off. Like, it's so far
okay.
away. It's like miles away kind of thing. It's not anywhere near. You'd at least know that much from your experience. All right. So, as you're kind of sitting around and waiting the few hours of just kind of paying attention to the things around you, Pree, as you sleep, you see yourself standing in a glade. It's not like a glade you've ever seen before. It's brighter, kind of even more sort of like colors are more extreme. Everything's really bright and healthy looking. Everything's growing and kind of like wild. There's no sort of like sign of a human that may have trimmed something back or picked a plant or any of that. It just looks like a natural forest. And in amongst that, you see various sort of deer and foxes and things like that just kind of passing by. It's like midday, effectively. And sitting at the base of one of the trees is someone who looks completely green. He has bits of tree branches and twigs and stuff in his hair, and his beard, which is long, looks almost like it's made of leaves. And the rest of his body is effectively the color of like grass or a very bright green leaf. And he's just sitting there with his eyes half shut and kind of aimlessly looking in your direction.
I'm pretty sure I didn't eat any mushrooms. Right. Nope, not doing this, and she's gonna turn around and walk away.
And you hear a voice behind you say, "Why, hello there."
Yeah, nope. Nope, not messing with the gods anymore. Nope, bye. Keeps walking.
Okay. You walk out of the bush and into another glade, into another area. And as you walk out of it, it feels very similar to the first one. But there's a pool at sort of the center point. And you see this character in the pool area just kind of floating along, aimlessly spitting water in the air, not really paying much attention to you.
Dude, no, this is not how you get a girl in the hot tub. Goodbye. And she'll turn around and walk away again.
And yeah, and again, you walk away and you walk to a open gladed area, and you see a structure that looks like a small little cottage. It feels very familiar. And
More creepy cottages.
but kind of like it's more like you can tell that it has been built recently, and you hear a voice coming from inside which sounds familiar to you. And you hear it say, "All right, time to get moving." And you hear a little voice come back and say, "I don't want to go. You can't make me go." And you hear another voice respond, "Come on, Pree, it's time to get going. We've got to move."
We're not doing flashbacks. Nope. She'll turn around and go a different direction. Nope. Not having this shit.
And you walk a different direction. And as you walk away down a small path, you walk further on and you see the sky change, and it becomes purple, and then it becomes black, and the moons rise up, and as they do, they are bright amethyst in the sky, and you hear voices that you don't recognize talking, and you see shapes, but no actual distinction as to what the shapes are. And you're not even sure what they're saying. You just hear these voices talk, and eventually you wake up. And you
She's gonna
see
sit up.
you see Shin waking you up for your shift.
Hey.
She's just gonna yeah. Really.
Sorry.
Not you.
Oh.
She's gonna look at Bart. It's his fault.
What's his fault?
Sorting with gods, it's his fault. She's gonna get up and go do her shift.
Paladin!
Watch this. Not entirely by choice.
No, sorry,
I
that was
avoid
out of
my
character.
god.
That was out of character. I'm asleep.
Well,
Doesn't consort with her god. She just accepts that they're there. Don't consort with the gods. No, she's really, really grumpy right now.
hey, if you need to talk about it, I can talk to you.
She's just gonna look at him. No. No.
Okay.
Not giving him any more power. Not happening.
I think. Did you have a bad dream, Pree?
Just go to sleep. And she'll go to the edge of camp and just look out.
I'll start my trance.
Okay. All right. So you start your trance as per usual. Pree, roll a perception check. Oh, wow.
Yay!
Nice. Good roll.
19.
All right. So you have a good look around. You don't really see a whole lot during the night, but what you do see is you see on the periphery of the sky, you can see eagles, and on one occasion it looks almost like there's something in the sky that's about the size of a small car flapping overhead. It doesn't notice you or notice the party at all, but it just kind of flies by, seemingly like it's off somewhere in a really quick fashion, and just kind of disappears briefly. And then, yeah, that's it for the moment.
Great. Well, we'll file that under F note, and just continue watch.
Nice. All right. Okay, so you begin your watch, and other than that, it relatively quiet. Nothing really scary or problematic seems to come around. You don't hear any sort of like larger beings coming around. Other than that, generally it's fairly calm. Meanwhile, in trance mode, Shin, while you're in your trance, actually, I should say, Pree, you see Shin kind of sitting in here. Do you kind of sit like I should ask, do you sit like you're cross-legged and kind of in that pose, or do you actually lay down?
I think I've said before I lay down under the moon and watch the moon kind of while I
Okay.
drift.
All right. Okay. Never mind then. I wasn't sure if you actually did sit up. Just wanted to clarify first.
If you want me, like, so I would say sometimes I would sit up, like during
Okay. Well, it's up to you.
I'm letting her watch, so yeah, I'll be laid down.
Okay. So you lay down, so Pree doesn't notice you fall over, because you're already over. And as you are sitting there, or laying there, sorry, and you're kind of mulling over, your life and circumstances and situations, you fall to a very unusual sleep. And in that sleep, you get visions of what appear to be premonitions, in a way, of those that raised you reaching out to you and you recoiling back. You get visions of a strange city sitting in the midst of darkness with almost an unnatural darkness where there's no moon, there's no hint of light. The only light that happens comes from these rocks and crystals which are placed within the bounds of the city. Most of the people moving around in it appear like it's a normal event and not some sort of strange appearance. And you feel like your hand is being held as you walk, and you look up and you see someone holding your hand that you don't fully recognize. Like, you get an idea that it's someone you should know, and it's just on the faint perimeter of your mind. You're kind of like, I know this person, but I can't, like, you almost can't see them. They're just kind of a blur, and you can't really tell what the face structure is. But as you're walking, you feel a sense of concern coming from the person. And they look down at you, and you feel like you're very small compared to them.
Can I talk to him or anything?
I mean, you're more than welcome to try.
I look up and say, "Who are you?"
And the being looks down at you and says, "Why, Shin, what's with this game you're playing right now, you silly? Come with me. Dad has concerns, and we need to get you back to the house. He wants you to go with our friend on a trip."
I say, "Mom?"
Yes, sweetie.
I'll just hug her.
She looks at you funny, hugs you back, though. Are you okay?
I missed you.
You missed me, sweetheart. It hasn't... You've only been over at the neighbor's house for half an hour. It hasn't been that long.
I like look around again at everything and just say, "What is this place?"
It's home, sweetie.
I look back up at her. Do I like? Is it still kind of blurry and I can't?
You're getting... It's all sort of crystallized in a way. You see this person who would look... Well, she looks like your mother, but to other people would look very similar to you. You see a lot of similar features, that same sort of elven appearance, the same sort of hair color. And she has sort of... With her, though, she has purple eyes. And she stands above you quite... Like, for you, it's a little off-putting because you feel like you're just a little kid, which you are. Compared to her at the moment. And you see a sense of worry on her face, although she's presenting a sense of like calm and, kind of like not trying to worry you.
I'll just grab her hand.
And she escorts you forward. You see the house that you can faintly remember from your youth. She takes you towards it, this building made up of natural rock that has been fashioned into a massive house. And you see your father standing there looking concerned. And then, surprisingly, you see the Meliorist, the Memorialist Meliorist, standing there as well. And she had been talking to your father and then stops when you walk in the door. To your mind, you've never met her up until just a short while ago.
I'll say, "What are you doing here?"
She looks back at you and says, "My friend's going to take you on a trip. Your friend as well. He's not here right now. He's going to get some supplies. But I've been told he'll keep you safe."
I'll look at her and I'll say, "Why are you doing this to me?"
She leans over and looks at you in the eyes. And you notice that her eyes kind of flash with, instead of the normal really sharp green that they usually look like they normally look emerald, you see this kind of transitional format where it kind of goes purple, back to green, back to purple, back to green. and the voice that comes into your head sounds like an echo more than a voice. And he says, "To protect you, son."
How come I don't remember any of this?
The voice comes back, and at this point, you've lost vision of all these people, and says, "Sometimes when trauma happens, we forget that trauma. We have to make things up in our own heads to try and hide from it."
I like drop to my knees wherever I'm at, like now that everybody's gone, and just kind of like start glancing around.
And you're in your home, but there's nobody else there. On the wall, you see the gate, placed where it was when you last remember this house, all those years ago.
And the gates where the one I left through.
Yep.
I'll like turn back towards the door of the house, and stand up and run over to it and open it up and look out.
Okay.
And just yell for my mom and dad.
Okay. As you open the door to do that, you sit up off of the dirt, and Pree, you hear what, Shin? What does she hear?
Mom, Dad! I just look around.
She'll turn and look at him. Stop letting him mess with your head. It leads to no good. And then she'll turn back around and continue her watch.
At this time, I'll just take a second to myself, kind of pick up a stick and break it, throw it in the fire, and I'll trance sitting up watching the fire now.
Okay. All right. All right, so that watch comes to an end, and Dimitri, your turn. And you're muted.
Yeah, I forgot.
It's okay.
He kind of stretches and yawns as Pree wakes him up. Anything interesting?
Something flew overhead.
All right, keep an eye out for it.
Big.
Like how big?
Ox cart big.
Oh,
He
definitely
went
keep
that
an eye
way,
out.
and she'll point. He's gone now.
Okay.
She'll lay down and go to sleep.
So he'll go off a little ways with his back to the fire so his eyes can adjust to the dark.
There's no fire, by the way.
I don't know. Shin just said he threw sticks in the fire.
Oh, yeah,
And
he
he's
did.
blocking it.
Sorry, there is a fire. Never mind. I don't know what I'm talking about. What are you talking about? I don't know. Okay. All right. Roll a perception check.
Well,
The rolls continue. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So, as you kind of look around and you keep what you think is a pretty good watch, you don't really notice much of anything. At one point, you think your hand got poked, but when you look around, you don't see anything. And you find yourself wearing a flower crown that you don't remember putting on.
This is odd. Take off the flower crown and put it on the rock.
And yeah, that's basically that as far as that goes. At some point, though, you do get a voice in your head. This is a voice you very much recognize. And it says, Dimitri, are you alone?
I'll look around. Is Shin still awake?
I'm sitting up and my eyes are glossed over but staring at the fire.
I will move further away till I'm pretty sure he can't hear a low voice, and then I will say, I am now.
Put out your hand,
I put out my hand.
and in it pops a letter. A scroll, I should say.
Oh, okay. I will open said scroll.
You see it's from your mother. That's whose voice you heard.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically a quick letter just to let you know, but one that a sending message wouldn't allow. It says that, in effect, your debt to the kingdom has been paid. And
Cool.
that with the death of Lurg and his minions, you have kept the kingdom safe. And since that was the reason for their concern with the Prashina, they are feeling like you resolve that. If there's anything else they need, they'll be in touch. Otherwise, you are free to go about your activities. She does, however, give you a warning about not getting into any more trouble, especially when you're outside of Credian.
Is the sending still open?
Yeah, you can reply to it.
Yeah, I'll say. That's because you can't keep an eye on me out here. There's only one more thing I have to do when I get home, and I'm not looking forward to. And one thing that I am. And he says kind of angrily.
You get a reply back saying, either way, I'll look forward to seeing you.
Me too.
And that's it.
Mm-hmm.
And the rest of your watch goes uneventful.
When I get back, I put the letter in the fire.
Okay. And you guys wake up or come to, depending on your way of describing it. And it is morning. It is cold. It is early. The prince, who is rested through the night, gets up, rolls up his bedroll, and packs up his pack and says, well, just a few days now.
Let's get on the way.
I'm gonna walk directly to my horse and just get on it. Like I'm gonna literally just like open eyes, get up, get on the horse.
Okay. Can you roll a perception check for me there, Bart?
I would rather not, but which doesn't really matter. So yes.
I mean, oh, look at that. Okay. So once again, you notice that your entire chain mail is now coins, or at least has the appearance of coins. It still works like a chain mail. Like if you really touched it and really held it, it would feel like chainmail, but it definitely looks like coins.
Like he'll look down and he'll turn back to everyone else. Like, can we hurry up now? Come on, snap.
Okay. Anybody else want to
let's
roll a
go.
perception check when looking at Bart?
Sure.
Okay. Oh,
18.
nice. You guys will see a small paper attached to his back.
Please tell
Bart.
me it says kick me.
It
Yeah.
does
Please.
indeed.
Pree is just going to laugh and got on her horse. Just start riding and laugh.
Can I? Go
No,
ahead.
I was just gonna say Dimitri's wearing the flower crown again. He did not explain why. He just whenever he wakes up, he's just wearing it.
Can does anything connect these two things in my mind? Like maybe a little trickery in this flower crown.
I mean, Roll a
Is there any-
history check, I guess.
Okay. Well, I'll just
I
pull
mean,
pull
no,
the
not as far
sign
as
off
you
here.
know.
Pull the sign off Bart's back.
Yeah,
And show him. Somebody's fucking with us. Oh,
it's fine. It's okay.
somebody's messing with us.
I don't think they're messing with you. I'm just gonna
Ooh.
I'm gonna look at it and then just drop it on the ground.
Well, look, and I gesture over to Dimitri.
Do I see him wearing a crown of flowers or whatever?
Yep, little spring flowers. Just
And I'm just gonna be like, what?
Did you make that for yourself, Dimitri? Oh,
Make what?
that crown on your head.
A crown? Am I king?
Are you? I look
You're-
over at the prince. Are you?
No, I don't think so. But you do have a crown.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. Someone put it on my head last night. Apparently, I'm not very good at watch.
Somebody was in at least in my head last night, and I look over to Pree. She didn't seem like she had a good night's rest.
I told you to ignore them.
A good night's rest because apparently someone forgot to wake me up from my shift, but
That's okay. I figured you needed it.
I did.
Don't give them any power over you.
Oh, I figured this was
Ignore
one of
them.
you. Pointing to the crown.
Oh no. These,
Actually, instead of dropping the paper, I'm gonna walk up to Dimitri and like stick it to like another part of the crown. I'm like, then get back on my horse.
nice.
Mhm.
Very lovely. The
I'll throw the kick me note in the fire, and then I'll use press to chase and to snuff it out once it burns.
the prince kind of looks at the collective lot of you and kind of shakes his head and hops up onto his horse and says, well, I guess we should get going. And
Yep.
pulls out some hard biscuit out of his pack and starts chewing on that while you guys ride.
Pree will pull out some more of her beef jerky and stuff and chew on that.
Okay.
She won't
Bart's
offer
gonna-
any to anyone though.
Bart's gonna about to like reach his hand into a bag and just like I don't want to deal with anything, so he's just not going to, and he's just gonna continue to ride.
Bart, we need to have a talk about depression.
I've never experienced depression before, believe it or not. I'm not sure if this is what it is. I don't feel sad. I feel
Like you messed with a god.
I didn't. I feel
Violated?
more- I
She's just gonna look at you like, mm-hmm.
no, I
But you
know.
did.
No, I actually know I didn't. This creature, God, is just. He doesn't say anything. He just becomes quiet and just rides.
Well, you should probably have some kind of cloak over your armor if we go into a city. Somebody's gonna try to steal that.
They can take it.
I don't think they can.
We'll see. I'll let them try at least.
I take his pike and throw it.
Okay.
The moment he throws, I like giddy up on my horse back and rush forward.
Okay, he rolls along, and after a very short amount of time, he's got a pike back on his backpack.
I don't look back. I just kind of say, it's still there, isn't it, Shin?
Yep. Maybe if you get strong enough, you can break it or something.
I don't want to talk about it. I just want to just continue.
All right.
You need to do something where I need to flip this and then take my actual coin. Let's just go do something.
Okay.
All right, you guys migrate along. The weather is really good, and generally things are going fairly well. You make a lot of distance and I would say actually you probably make slightly better distance than you made yesterday. All things considered, the day is pretty nice. Sort of that afterglow of a nice spring day when it's nice and warm and travel's easy and light and just generally feels pretty okay. You make it down this area and probably about a day into your travel or late into your day that day, the only thing you guys have really seen is some animals on the mountains in the distance. At one point, Dimitri might have noticed a bear, like a black bear, brown bear, but so far away,
I could take.
not really a problem. Some deer which crossed your path early on. Other than that, yeah, not much going down. Just regular old kind of mountain hills. Nothing too scary. However, roll for me a perception check, please. You can choose one with advantage, or you can all roll. It's up to you.
All right, we choose Bart with advantage.
Okay. I'm noticing that one, just saying. But we're gonna take the fact that 3 of you rolled really well. As you are moving south and getting closer to civilization, if you want to call it that, you start to see a actual solid path, and off in the distance you can see what looks to be a cart with some people around it riding south, basically away from you. They don't look like they're scared of you or they're running away from you. They're just heading south and may not even have noticed you.
Traveling slower than us, so we'll eventually catch them, basically?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks like they're fairly heavily... You guys would know. They're merchants. They've got heavy loads, so they're not moving very quickly. Where you guys are doing, on average, about 13... Between 10 and 13 miles an hour, they're doing like 5.
Always
How long would it take me to rush to that merchant?
I mean, if you giddied up, I mean, you could probably close that distance in, say, 20 minutes of hard riding.
That wouldn't
say,
freak them out
"Hey!"
at all. No.
I say, hey, and I just start going towards the merchants.
I put my hood up as a precaution.
So does the prince, you'll notice, too.
I'll look at Pree and say, if you're looking to get paid,
Why?
as long as they're going the same direction we are, could offer protection for money. More protection in a group. We give the prince a way to disguise his movements, and we get paid for protecting the caravan.
You see it moving.
Yeah, that's a risk. I know you like money. Don't ask me. I don't even care. And I look away.
Only one person in this group doesn't care, Dimitri.
But you're busy riding, so they don't know
Yes.
that.
Okay. Right, true.
I mean, you look like you care very much. You're heading straight for the merchant.
It is a surprise. It is a new experience.
Does there look to be like how
ahead.
many people are with that caravan?
You can see that it looks like there is, well, I'd say probably 20 people attached to it. There is what looks to be some mercenaries on either side of it. There is the actual master driving the cart along with what looks to be his family, or at least what you would guess would be family members. Some walking, some riding up in the cart.
More people to recognize him. And she'll point to the prince.
And the prince kind of closes his cloak a little tighter.
Yeah, that's not suspicious at all.
She says, or he leans over and says, yeah, I'd rather not have a lot of discussions. with others.
Yeah.
Well,
Can we
maybe we should wing out around them then.
It's a little late. And she'll like wave at Bart.
Well,
I'm gonna turn around. If I don't see them falling, I'll yell back, I'll catch up. I'm only gonna stop for a minute.
Uh-huh. Okay.
And Pree will like just shrug and like fine and continue onward with the prince.
All right, so you guys, I assume, are kind of taking a berth around them, like a bit of a wide berth around, effectively, then?
Without being too suspicious about it, yeah.
yeah, I mean, our friend's going up to them, so we're not avoiding them, but we're just not. I mean, I guess we are a little bit avoiding them. We don't want the prince to be seen. We all stand between them and the prince.
Okay. Okay, Bart. As you ride up, you see.
As I'm riding up, I'm gonna be like, have my hands up as like in a non-threatening manner.
Okay, so the 3 guards on the one side, there's like basically 6 guards, 3 on each side, and some kids that are kind of scrambling around, messing around behind it and in front, and kind of like calling each other names and throwing things at each other and just generally forcing around. And the guards have been a bit distracted by them and hadn't really noticed you initially. But as you get closer, they definitely see you coming. And one of them rides out towards you. It's a tall, very muscular looking soldier type. He is hard bitten. He's got a scar that runs across the edge of his cheek and down towards his jawline. He has at least what looks to have been at one point a very musculature frame, but now looks a bit pudgy. He has a great sword, which is attached to his horse, and he is wearing what looks to be fairly well kept, but not terribly expensive armor. And he rides towards you and says, "Oh, stranger, what do you want?"
Is this a merchant? Do you guys sell lances, pikes, or spears? I'm in need of one.
We are the merchant. He's carrying, and you look over and you can see there's cages, and he says he's more of a seller of animals, pets, things of that nature.
What about you? You guys are guarding it, right? You guys are soldiers. Are you guys willing to sell or trade I have this lovely pike. Would any of you like to trade it for something?
Not for any of my weaponry, no.
I will give you a gold in addition to the pike for another spear, pike, or spear, or lance.
He looks and says, "I don't have that, but I have javelin if you want."
Perfect. Here, I'll take it. Take this.
Okay.
I put the butt end of the spear pike to him, and if he grabs it, I will grab the javelin.
Okay, he reaches into, like, there's a kind of a holder area where, like, arrows or a bow and arrow would be stored, and he pulls it out and he hands you the javelin, which is just basically a stick that's been sharpened on both ends.
Fine, perfect. And I take out a gold coin and it's like, here you go, thank you. And I'm going to go leave you guys alone now. Have fun with that, and I go away. And I turn it back and say, make sure you hold on tight to that.
The face he gives you is bemused and befuddled. And then he turns back and goes and talks to the rest of the group. And you see them ride off, and as far as you saw, the pike's still there.
I'm not gonna go directly back to the group because I don't want to lead, just in case they are watching. I don't want to lead them to the group, so I'll take kind of a roundabout way towards the rest of the group, I guess.
Okay.
And I want to hold one hand on the reins and hold the other hand on specifically to the javelin, and then just ride.
Okay. All right. So you ride around and ride your way back in your roundabout route. And Dimitri, make a perception check as Bart rides up.
Okay.
I mean, it's pretty obvious he's holding the javelin, but he's still got the pike on his back.
Say anything,
I'm gonna
please.
say,
Give me at least a couple minutes of reprieve. Don't say anything.
you needed a new weapon there, buddy?
Yep. Got rid of the pike.
Oh. Right. You want the flower crown?
I will take my coin out, head yes, and tail no. Haven't flipped in a while. I do not want your crown.
Okay. I'll just put it back on my head. I give a smirk. I don't know if you noticed that I start to ride away. Like, ride back with the others.
And once I get to the others, I'm like, oh, by the way, they are trading in, you said animals, John?
Yeah, like pets, like small animals, like looked like there was like cats and maybe some various types of like rodents and bunnies and things of that nature.
Okay, yeah, I'll relay that to them in case that means anything to any of them.
I catch my own food, thanks.
Okay.
I'm barely responsible enough for myself. I don't need a pet.
I don't like those animals caged up. I understand how the world works.
He's back. Bart's back to not giving a shit again, so this is great.
He feels very secure because he's rid of that pike.
Oh yeah, I'm not holding my pike. I'm holding I'm gonna like take like as we ride. Eventually, I'm assuming like my hand is gonna grow tired, right? So I'm gonna be like, oh, might as well put this back into back.
Okay, you don't feel the pike.
And then like there's a like Bart doesn't normally like smile or anything, but you see a little curve up a little bit, and then he just okay, cool.
Cool. All right. So, yeah, Bart's super happy. He's got a javelin and a pike to go along with his sword.
You said I don't know.
You don't feel it. You don't feel it.
Wait, do they see it though?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, that's fine.
I mean, as far as you're concerned, it's not there. That's all you care about.
Yep. That's all I care about. So I'm good.
All right. So on that note, you guys get ready and ride through the rest of the day. No further incidences, no more sort of crossed wires or problems. Otherwise, it's fairly quiet. And you pass that merchant quite a ways back. You probably leave him in the dust by about a good 3 hours by the time you're bedding down for the night again. And you probably made up about half a day on where you were. So the prince gives off the idea that you guys have probably down to a couple of days ride at this point. And he feels pretty confident in that. So
once we start making camp, I'll say I'll take multiple shifts if you want, since I am fairly well rested.
Well, I can do some too. That if me and him just do it, we're fine.
Okay.
You want first or second shift?
I'll take second. That way you can sleep all the way through.
Okay. So first watch. Roll me a perception check, please. $13. Okay. Sometime around midnight, you hear a crack of a branch.
Which I look in that direction, and I kind of grab my javelin.
Okay. And a pike comes out.
Like there's visual, like everyone else is asleep, right?
Yep.
So I'm visually like, where's the javelin?
It's not there anymore.
And then at this point, like he brings the pike to me, looks at it. You stole from me now. And then I'll just walk. I'll kind of creep towards the crack that I heard.
Okay. And you hear voices, but it's not in a language you identify.
Are there rocks or anything on the ground?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like you little rocks.
Grab one. I'm gonna grab a couple, look behind me, and like note where Shin and Dimitri are, or whoever's closest to where I am, I guess, and kind of be ready to like toss it at them in case like I need their attention.
Okay.
And I'll kind of. You said I don't recognize. Can I tell how many people are talking?
You hear a couple of voices.
Okay. Actually, hold up. Evens, I'm gonna keep going.
At least I don't think you understand what they're saying. Let me double check that before I
think I only speak common. I speak Dwarven.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you don't recognize what they're saying, but you definitely can hear distinct voices.
If it's even, I'm gonna keep going. Odds, I'm gonna just turn back and wake everyone up. Turning back and waking everyone up.
Okay. All right. So you come back.
Oh no, I'm just gonna wake not Shin since he needs to sleep. I'm gonna go grab. I'll grab Pree. She seems like someone who wants to kill something. So I'll kind of nudge Pree and kind of like do this so that she doesn't yell at me or try to punch me. And then I'm gonna like make signs, like point to the direction, and yeah.
Yeah, she'll just open her eyes, blink a couple times, nod, and get up and follow you.
Yeah, alright, cool.
John, do I notice him wake her up?
Oh, yeah.
I'll kind of keep an eye open and watch like what they're doing.
Okay. All right.
I see him looking at me now?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Based on your passive perception, you get the idea.
I'm just gonna point to where we're going and then kind of signal that I hear talking or something.
I'll stand up and just face towards where they're going.
Dimitri can sleep in, but yeah, all right, cool. Start walking towards the sound.
Okay. The voices suddenly go silent.
Did Pree hear the voices?
Yeah.
Yep. Did she recognize any of that?
What do you speak?
No. Common, Elvish, Dwarvish, what else? I can't see what it says. Hang on.
You can click it and it'll put it in the chat.
And Halfling.
Oh, okay. No.
The Shin?
Nope.
Okay.
You guys all kind of know the same thing.
Well, Pree's gonna draw her weapon.
Okay.
Check where the prince is.
It's the prince. He's sleeping, right?
Yep. He's in a tent, basically.
Okay.
I'll peek in the tent.
He's fast asleep.
Okay.
Although, when you lift up the thing and you see him asleep, you note that he moves. And then he kind of looks at you bleary-eyed.
Pree's gonna indicate to sorry, Austin, I've suddenly forgotten your character's name.
Shin.
I'm tired. Shin, to stay with the prince. And then she's gonna move towards where she thought she heard the sounds.
Follow her.
All right.
And
Okay.
draw her sword in the process.
So we'll have to find out.
I'm also gonna draw my sword and not pick up the pike.
All right.
When I see him draw his sword, I'll kick Dimitri's foot to try to get him up.
Dimitri goes, what? He's muted.
You're muted.
You're muted.
Oh. So I don't know. Would that wake me up?
I mean, you'd think so. I mean, you've camped. You were kind of used to sleeping light, so.
Kick him the balls next time. He'll wake up.
I'll groggily sit up. What's going on?
Shh. And I'll kind of say, I think they got somebody over there.
Okay. What is it?
I don't know.
And we'll have to find
You
out
guys will be, for no
what
reason.
happens after the break. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. You can do that here, and you can watch the latest video up here. And if you want to know more about what we do, be sure to check out distractionsmedia.com.